President Trump wants to send a $2,000 stimulus to Americans, including seniors on Social Security and disability. But here is the unfortunate news. I don't believe that the stimulus is going to happen this year before December 2025. And I'm very doubtful that is going to happen next year. I'm going to give you four reasons why I think the stimulus check is not going to happen. And then I'm going to give you two reasons why they may happen, and those two things have to absolutely happen before you see a stimulus check. I know that is not what you want to hear, but I'm here to give you the truth because there's a lot of people online right now that are hyping up everybody and giving false hope that there's going to be a stimulus before the end of this year and that there's going to be a stimulus definitely next year. The president has said he wants to send a stimulus next year before June. I am not too sure about that, and I'm going to tell you why. Stay with me. My name is Kwame Kwade. I am a government benefits expert. For 15 years, I've been helping seniors get the retirement benefits they deserve. I create content on Social Security, Medicare, Medicaid, food stamps, and other personal finance topics that affect seniors and their retirement and their benefits. So if you are new to my channel, welcome. I am glad you're here. Do me a quick favor, go into the comment section and let me know your city and your state. Now, if you've been watching this channel for a while, welcome back. I am glad you're here. I am very grateful for your support. I hope you had a happy Thanksgiving. Let's jump right into it. So, this is the headline you've probably been seeing everywhere. Are we getting a fourth stimulus check in 2025? Tariff dividend eligibility. And it is because the president has been talking about this a lot. But here, let me tell you why the stimulus, number one, is not going to happen before the end of this year. We are already in November, end of November. Thanksgiving just happened. We are already in end of November. Congress is not going to work through the entire December. A bill has to be drafted, debated in both houses of Congress, and it has to pass. I don't see any indication right now that both there's enough majority on both houses of Congress, and probably the Senate will need a 60 vote majority to get it through. I don't think there are enough senators out there who have come out publicly saying that they want to do this from either party. And so we'll have to get the legislation through the House and the Senate. And I don't see that happening before the end of the year. The second reason is that the president has not made this a priority for Congress. He's not out there telling Congress to get to work and send a stimulus to American people before Christmas. He's not out there talking about the stimulus that this is his Christmas bonus to Americans. He would just talk about it every few weeks and then drop it and move on to the next thing. For those two reasons, I don't believe the stimulus is going to happen this year. I don't think so. And if you have any information that tells you that you're definitely going to see a stimulus check before the end of the year, I want to hear from you in the comment section below because bring your facts and I want to see it because I don't see anything right now that tells me that there's a bill in Congress that is talking about a $2,000 stimulus, that there is enough votes to pass a $2,000 stimulus. The majority leader in the Senate has not said anything about it, and the Speaker of the House has not said anything about it. And so those are the signals that I'm looking for to confirm that there's going to be a stimulus. I don't see them. I don't believe it. It's not going to happen this year. Now, let's talk about next year. The president has come out and said that he wants to send this a stimulus, hopefully, key phrase there. Hopefully, he wants to send a stimulus next year. And so then the question is that going to happen? Well, I have four reasons why it's going to be challenging to do it next year. And I have two reasons why I think it will happen. So let me give you the good news first before I give you the bad news. The good news, the two reasons why I think a stimulus will happen next year is number one, economic reality. The president has been saying that everything is good. When you hear President Trump speak about the economy, he will rattle off all these things that tell him that the economy has never been better. We are the envy of the world. That prices have come down. Thanksgiving cost is down. He will give you the impression that everything is good and we've never been better as an economy. Ben, you see poll numbers about real, everyday Americans talking about the economy, and is the opposite. They are struggling. They are struggling and they are struggling hard. Seniors, especially with the cost of healthcare, with the tiny social security increase you're going to get, and half of it is already taken by Medicare Part B premiums. Seniors are effectively going to get, some seniors are going to get a 1% social security increase, others are going to get a 1.9. Even though the government tells you it's 2.8, when you take the Medicare Part B premium out, it is 1.9% for most seniors, and those earning about $1,000 in social security benefit, you are getting a 1% increase. So with electricity going up, with beef prices going up, coffee prices, housing, transportation, everything is up. So I don't know where the president is getting his information from, but he's been saying that everything is good. So my point is that until the president moves from that narrative and begins to talk about the reality of people suffering and the fact that people need help, he's not going to do it, because how is he going to push for a stimulus and push hard if he doesn't even believe that there's a problem in the first place? So that's the first reason why, if the president begins to talk realistically about the economy, and it's, then you're going to see, because the economy reality is going to catch up. And if you see him shift his narrative, that is an indication that he knows the economy is in trouble and he needs to do something. The second reason that I think there could be a stimulus is that there's an election year next year. And if the economy is bad and Republicans feel like they're at risk of losing the House or the Senate, they are going to want to get behind this stimulus. So those are the two reasons why I think that we may see a stimulus. And I'll even give you a third. President Trump has pushed this tariff thing as a good thing for the economy. And a lot of people are not convinced. Every poll I have seen shows that people think the tariff is contributing to price increases and is making the economy worse. So if the president begins to feel the heat about that, I think he would throw in the stimulus as a way of saying, look at all this money that I got from the tariffs. I'm even able to give you a $2,000 stimulus. So those are the three reasons why I think a stimulus could happen. Here are the four reasons why I think it's not going to happen. But before I do that, guys, if you want to stay up to date on news and updates, anything in and out of Congress that could affect your benefits, your finances, and your retirement, text the word insider to 443-293-0080 and join my text list. Join thousands of seniors that are getting one or two text messages from me each week, updating you on critical information that you absolutely have to know that could affect your benefits, your finances, and your retirement. So text the word insider to the number you see on your screen. Now, here are the four reasons why. Now, I read an article recently. I'm not sure where I saw it, but I believe it may have been, a CNN article or a Fox News. I'm not sure, but here are the four reasons that it says that the stimulus may not happen. Number one, the math. At best, the president is going to raise $158 billion this year in tariffs and $207 billion next year in tariffs. Okay. Together, that's like $360 billion this year and next year. However, experts are saying that to give everybody a $2,000 stimulus like the president wants to do, it is going to cost $400 to $600 billion. The president wants to use the tariff money to do a lot of things. He's promising a lot of things with the tariff money. He wants to pay down the debt. He wants to pay down the big, beautiful bill, and he wants to do a stimulus. Well, the money he's going to collect this year and next year is not even enough to do a $2,000 stimulus for everybody. So he may have to pare it down. He may have to go to 1,000 or even 600. So the math is not adding up. That's the first reason why I don't think it's going to happen, because the money is not there. Number two, the votes are not there. I haven't seen congressmen or senators jumping up and down saying, hey, we should do the stimulus. They are not grabbing it like it's something that they think is necessary. That is a warning sign. That is a disturbing sign, because if Congress does not feel the need for it, they are the people that have to pass the bill. The president just cannot send the money. It has to go through Congress. And if Congress is not on board, we're not going to see anything. Number three, the reason why a lot of people in Congress are worried about the stimulus is that the last time we did the stimulus, President Biden did the big stimulus during the COVID pandemic. A lot of people blamed that stimulus for causing the inflation because people got money, they spent a lot of money, the economy was overheated because there was more demand, versus supply. But remember, during COVID, there was also supply chain issues, so that may have caused it would have been a unique situation because there was a lot of money in the system because people had their stimulus checks, but then there was also shortages because of the pandemic and supply chain, and so you have excess demand, reduced supply, prices went up as a result. Basic economics 101. And so it caused inflation, and so people have you will call it a PTSD. um but people are afraid, especially policymakers are afraid that if you send a lot of money quickly to Americans and they spend it right away, the economy is going to struggle to absorb it. It's going to cause more inflation. It's going to make things worse. So that is at the back of people's minds when it comes to stimulus. I'm just reporting what happened. And then finally, probably the biggest reason is that there's a case in the Supreme Court right now that is looking at the tariff, the legality of the tariff. The president used a law that a lot of people think is not constitutional or legal to be used to do the tariffs the way he did it. So the case is before the Supreme Court and it's been argued recently. The last couple of weeks, the Supreme Court heard the argument, and the justices were not convinced about the fact that the president has the authority to do this. So if they come down and issue a ruling early next year, the Supreme Court has until June to issue a ruling. Knowing the sensitivity of this issue, they may issue the ruling early. If they do and they say, nope, the tariffs are illegal, well, what happens? The president has to refund the money. So I know the president is also thinking about this. I know that Secretary of the Commerce Secretary and the Treasury Secretary who are pushing this also in the news are aware of the Supreme Court case, and they know what happened during that oral argument with the Supreme Court. They know the skepticism that the justices had on this issue. And so if the Supreme Court comes down and say it's illegal, the money has to be returned. And so I will be surprised if the president will push for a tariff dividend or a stimulus check before the Supreme Court rules on this issue. And so, for that reason, for those four reasons, I don't think there's going to be a stimulus next year. But I've already given you two reasons why I think there will be. So, it just depends on the timing. It just depends on how much the president wants this. And it just depends on what the Supreme Court does. So, don't keep your hopes up, but also watch what the president does and says. And that will guide you as to whether there's going to be a stimulus or not. So, that is my opinion. And guys, let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. And before I leave you, if you've been watching my channel, you know that I have been on a crusade this entire um, open enrollment season for Medicare to help you get into a better Medicare plan. And I have been recommending that you call Chapter Medicare, because they are our partner and they are unbiased and are not trying to sell you anything, but to help you get into a better Medicare plan. But a lot of you have been skeptical because you're not sure whether these guys who I have pulled from the Chapter website are really going to be unbiased and will be in your corner, or are they trying to sell you something? So let's listen to thousands of seniors that have called Chapter based on my recommendation and what they've come back to say on my YouTube channel. Here is somebody that came back and said, thank you for commenting this information. I reached out to the number and they found me a better plan for 2026. I just wanted to say thank you for helping those of us who are out here trying to figure things out. Have a blessed night. That was on my channel. You can see I like the message. I took your advice. I called Chapter. I signed up with Cigna. I previously had Humana. This was a better plan for me with Cigna. I signed up 10 days ago. Thank you for helping me. And I responded, this is great to hear. I am glad the information was helpful to you. Here's another one. Thank you very much for sharing the Chapter information. I called over the weekend and was able to register for a different Medicare Advantage plan that had all my doctors and covered all my medications. Here's another one. I just reviewed with my Medicare through Chapter, and they told me I was in the best plan for me already, which is what I've been saying. You owe it to yourself to at least make sure that you're in the best plan for you. And Chapter will give you an unbiased opinion about that because they have access to all 24,000 plans and they can tell you that. And if you're not, then they can help you switch to a better plan. So give Chapter a call today. You will not regret it. Thank you for watching. If you like what you heard, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and I'll see you in another video tomorrow.